Welcome to the first video of Project 5. In my browser, I have 3 tabs open. The first one is to the blog with Project 5 document showing. The second tab is my Project 4 repo. And the third tab is my Project 5 repo. So if I scroll down until I find the instructions, I've got clone P5 and copy files from a P4 clone to make starter code. So at this point, we should be getting somewhat used to this procedure, but in this first video, I will do it pretty much the way it says to do it. Okay, so we're going to clone Project 4 into a new folder named P4 for P5, starting with an empty VS Code. So there's my Project 4. Here's VS Code and it's empty. So I'm going to click Open Folder, go into Documents, New Folder, P4 for P5. Create that, and then open. Come back into my repo, click Clone, click on the clipboard, come back into VS Code. Select Terminal, New Terminal, and type git clone space. Paste that in, making sure I type a space and a dot before I hit return. And there I go. I've got all of P4 cloned in there at this point. Now, if we go back into the instructions, I will repeat this process, but using Project 5 to clone Project 5 into a folder called P5. So let's do that. I have to make an empty VS Code, come to File, Close Folder, open up the Explorer, click on the Open Folder button, New Folder, P5, Create, Open. It's empty. It needs to be empty, otherwise Git will not clone into it. So I come to my Project 5 repo, open the clone button, clipboard, come back to VS Code, hit the terminal, new terminal, and type git clone, paste that in, space, and finish with a dot before return. Okay, so I can leave VS Code open at this point, go into my Finder or my File Explorer, find these files that make up P4, drag a big highlight rectangle around them, then right-click and copy items, come back into P5, and paste those 5 items. And as you can see, as soon as I do that, they show up in the P5 VS Code Explorer. So just so I don't start playing around in the wrong folder, I'll right-click on this P4 for P5 and put it in the trash. Okay. So I've done steps 1, 2, and 3, and I'm ready to edit my README file. I'm going to change the title to Project 5 and then add a new line that says text styling. Find my README, make it project 5, add a new line here, text styling. Go ahead and save that. So now in here it says, the Git icon says I have 13 pending changes. So I'm going to go into that, write myself a commit message, copy P4 to P5, check mark that, come over here to ... pull that down and say push. There we go, it finished. Come up to the repo for project 5 and do a screen refresh, and there we go. Not only do I see the files, I see the newest commit message, and my README is updated with both the title and the text styling. Now it also, so I've done now step 5, I committed and pushed. I checked my P5 repo, I saw the commit message, and I looked at the README down at the bottom. I have one more step, deploy to Netlify and change the site name using the class naming convention. So I've got to log into Netlify, but with my GitHub tab open, that should be easy to do. Come here to new site, GitHub, pull this down and find IDMX225. Select project 5, deploy, give it a moment for this to become a link. There it goes. Go into site settings, scroll down a little bit, change site name, and it's project -5 and then my GitHub username, IDMX student. And this has to match exactly with what it says up here for project 5. So I can go ahead and save that. And there I go. Now at the moment, obviously nothing has changed except the README file, but we have a deployed project 5. And that's it for this video. When we come back, we'll start looking at the next section, which says add an article element using lit Ipsum.